Andy Bryan, the CEO of Astronomer, is considering a lawsuit against Coldplay for being caught and totally exposed in terms of infidelity on the Coldplay KissCam. We're going to talk about that tonight on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a fast facts version, bringing you the quick and dirty of the latest in legal news. So this one was very interesting to me when I saw it, because I'm like, wait, what? A lawsuit? And of course, most of you have heard of the Coldplay KissCam incident, but just in case you didn't, during a Coldplay concert, there's a kiss cam that goes around looking at people and glancing at them and, lingers on them for a moment and allows them to smooch and show their affection in front of the audience, which is very romantic, typically with a romantic song playing. Of course, it's Coldplay, so they had that going on. So when these individuals over here, Andy Byron and the other director here, were caught together in a loving embrace, the kiss cam at the Coldplay concert thought this is a perfect moment. Look at these two. They're lovingly embracing, the perfect moment for a kiss. Well, after the camera turned on them, it quickly revealed that this was the worst moment of their lives. And I'll just play that for you here. Up, completely exposed. And the worst part about it here is this poor girl here, who's an employee at the company and knew everything was going on, knew about everything, and is redder than a beet. So this completely exposed these folks. They had to resign from the company Astronomer. And they also are obviously facing some personal turmoil, where you have the wife here, Megan Kerrigan Bryan, the wife of the Astronomer CEO, actually removing his surname from her Facebook profile. So there's definitely some trouble in paradise, probably a divorce brewing there very, very, very soon. So when I saw the news here and I said, what are you talking about, bro? That this guy is indeed for real, considering a lawsuit. He is considering suing Coldplay. And why would he sue Coldplay? Well, he's saying that they ruined his reputation, that he's no longer, he lost his job, right? So he has damages, right? They're going to cost him his marriage. So there's all this sort of damage to him. But the question is, with everything, okay, you have damages, but part of the legal analysis for a lawsuit is, where's the breach? Where's the cause of action? What claims you're going to bring? And the best things I could think of, the three things I could think of, were defamation, invasion of privacy, and perhaps intentional infliction of emotional distress. But there's multiple reasons why those wouldn't work out, and really any claim wouldn't work out. Let's go through those. So defamation would involve destroying someone's reputation, particularly in America, by stating facts that you put out there that aren't true. So Coldplay themselves wasn't putting out any facts that aren't true. The only facts you have are the camera. It's showing you what happened on the camera. So what about that is not true? And what about that is malicious? Because also he's a public figure. He's a person who's kind of out there. So what would be malicious and a lie about catching you two on the camera? There's nothing about the Kiss camera that is malicious and defamatory. If anything, if you went into a defamation suit, you'd have discovery, you'd have people asking questions, and the truth would come out that he was indeed having an extramarital affair. This was indeed something he shouldn't have been doing. So the defamatory element really doesn't work there. I don't know where that would be coming from. Now, where he might have some leg room is if he wanted to sue people reporting on this, because it might be possible that a third-party outlet added additional information that's not true. So, for example, hypothetically, if someone added into the story, hey, he's cheating on his wife and he's a convicted murderer, and he's not a convicted murderer, then yes, you could sue them for defamation as to that part about him being a convicted murderer, right? Because that's not true. So yes, that might be possible against third parties, but not against Coldplay. How are you going to get Coldplay for the camera? The second thing is, Coldplay doesn't really control the camera. It's really going to be a third-party contractor. It's going to be somebody that they paid to do that. So you're not really going to be able to get directly at Coldplay on that one, buddy. The next one would be invasion of privacy. And this one's curious because you're in public. when you are in public, especially at a stadium with thousands of people there, and with the knowledge that there are cameras, in fact, on your tickets, that was probably disclosed to you that you will be filmed, that there will be people watching you. That's going to be fully expected. You have no reasonable expectation of privacy when you're in public at a concert, attending a concert like that. If you wanted to be in private, you would have, watched a video, or you would have watched a stream at home. You would not be going to a public place. So invasion of privacy due to the public nature of a concert is just not going to work. So let's go even further. How about IIED, intentional infliction of emotional stress? Now, this one is curious. So if our boy Andy could prove over here that they indeed turned this KissCam on him because they knew he was having an affair, and they intentionally were trying to expose that, and they were intentionally trying to inflict him with emotional stress, maybe. But here's the problem. How are you going to be able to prove that? And how are you going to be able to prove intent? I don't believe at all, and I wouldn't believe for a second, that the cameraman here was intentionally doing this to get you. That is a, pinboard conspiracy theory that I think even the most, strong of conspiracy theorists would have trouble with. How are you going to say, hey, Coldplay was out to get me because astronomer, the company, I don't know, didn't do business with them? What's your theory of the case there? What's your point? I would really want to know what he came with that. And the good thing is, what I did learn here is most lawyers are in agreement with me here. They're saying, hey, look, this is something that, once again, is not going to have any expectation of privacy. And it sounds like he's trying to shift blame because his chances in court are slim. So really, this talk of defamation is really just somebody who is really mad and trying to shift the blame, trying to say, hey, it's not my fault. It's really Coldplay's fault. It's really the cameraman's fault. It's really somebody who wanted to create a public incident. Maybe they knew him, maybe they knew of him, and they wanted to create that incident. But that's going to be really hard to prove. And furthermore, like I said, when you get in these court cases, particularly defamation, IED, or invasion of privacy, all of your private facts are going to be open. So they could get all of his DMs with this woman, all of his messages, his emails, all of his infidelity. Who knows how deep that went? Because we all know, look, if you're taking her to a Coldplay concert, that's not the first time you've been doing stuff together. Maybe they had some private vacations. They've been going on other things on the company dime. And then you're getting into charges against Mr. Byron. How much of this was personal expenses that he was writing off as company expenses? How much of this was supposed to be, official meetings or whatever else? And in fact, it was him, canoodling with this lady. And I think that can end up digging himself in deeper. So if anyone is thinking about a lawsuit here, I think Mr. Byron is the one who should be worried about getting sued by his own company. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?